Hello, this is topic 1-4 on how to solve systems of equations using the process called elimination. So we're going to solve these by elimination, and what we want to look for is we want to look for coefficients that are the same but with different signs. And so if I look here, I've got a negative y and a positive y. And that's what we want. Both of these have the same coefficient. That coefficient is 1. But one of them is negative and the other one is positive. And so we're going to add these to make them go away. So notice what happens when I add. Well, 5x plus 3x gives me 8x. And a negative 1y plus 1y goes away. They actually canceled. And that equals 12 plus 4 gives me 16. Well, now that I know that 8x is 16, when I divide both sides by 8, I can figure out that x equals 2. And now I need to plug this back into an equation. I can choose either one of these equations. I happen to like this one because it's got smaller numbers. So I'm going to rewrite it. 3x plus y equals 4. But I'm going to replace that x with this 2. So 3 times 2 plus y equals 4, which means 6 plus y equals 4. Subtract 6, and y equals a negative 2. And so now I've got my x solved for, I've got my y solved for, and I have my equation of 2, my solution of 2, negative 2. Now you may prefer this over substitution because if your coefficients are already matching, it makes for a really easy problem. There's only 2 steps here. Let's go ahead and take a look at example number 2. Again, I've got 6c and 6c. That's great except for these are both positive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this bottom one by a negative. Okay? So I'm going to multiply this, everything by negative 1. And that's going to change my equations a little bit. I'm going to get 6c plus 7d equals a negative 15. That stayed the same. But on the bottom, I get a negative 6c plus 2d equals a negative 12. I just flipped all of my signs. And now I can come back and I can add those. Well, 6 plus a negative 6 goes away. 7 plus 2 gives me 9d. And a negative 15 plus a negative 12 gives me a negative 27. I then divide both sides by 9, and I get that d equals a negative 3. Now I'm going to choose either one of my equations. I like this equation because it's got smaller numbers. And every time I see d, I'm going to replace it with negative 3. 6c minus 2d equals 12. So that's 6c minus 2 times a negative 3 equals 12. So 6c plus 6 equals 12. When I subtract 6 from both sides, I get that 6c equals 6. And dividing by 6, I get that c equals 1. Remember, I need to go in alphabetical order. So this would be a 1, negative 3. Let's go ahead and have a look at number 3. Looking for similars, similar coefficients. Right here, those are similar. They're both 12, but they're both positive. So I'm going to go ahead and flip all the signs on this down here. So that's going to give me 8m plus 12n equals 20. That one didn't change. Now the one on the bottom will be a negative 5m minus 12n equals a positive 1. And now I add these. Well, 8 minus 5 gives me 3m. 12n minus 12n cancels, and that gives me 21. And when I divide both sides by 3, I get that m equals 7. Again, I'm going to plug into either equation. I'm actually going to go ahead and go with this one for a couple of reasons. One, I went with the bottom on the first two. And two, all of my numbers are positive. Makes it a little bit nicer. And so 8m plus 12n equals 20. Replace the m. So 8 times 7 plus 12n equals 20. 56 plus 12n is 20. Subtract the 56. I get that 12n equals a negative 36. Divide both sides by 12, and I get that n equals a negative 3. All right. Alphabetical order, L, M, N, O, P. So this would be 7, negative 3. And our last example. My y's are the same. I've got a negative 3y and a positive 3y, which means I don't need to change anything. I can go ahead and just add. 4 plus 2 gives me 6x. Negative 3 plus 3 cancels. And a negative 2 plus 26 is just 24. Divide both sides by 6. And 24 divided by 6 is 4. So x equals 4. Use either equation. I happen to like this one. Just my numbers are smaller. So 2x plus 3y equals 26. Replace the x. 2 times 4 plus 3y equals 26. So 8 plus 3y is 26. Subtract 8. I get 18. So 3y equals an 18. Divide both sides by 3, and I get that y equals 6. Remember, alphabetical order, this is x, y. And so this is 4, 6. Systems of equations, they just take some time. They are time-consuming problems. But it really just boils down to basic algebra. You're going to solve for one variable, solve for the next variable. Doesn't matter if you're using elimination or substitution. But today's assignment is going to focus on elimination. Good luck on your assignment. Have a good day.